I'm Cathy Costello. I'm a teacher librarian at Campbelltown Performing Arts High School, and I'm going to talk to you about tips for beginning teacher librarians. So I just wanted to let you know that I've been fortunate to have wonderful teacher librarian mentors, and so much of what I know I've gleaned from other inspirational teacher librarians. The best advice I've received. So I'm going to be looking at this under 4 topics: knowledge is power, advocacy and marketing, building your professional learning networks, and getting the most out of skills. So first, knowledge is power. As we know, few executives have been teacher librarians. Very few people in the school know exactly what it is that we do, and there's many misconceptions and perceptions about what it is. So it's important that we know our policies and awards, have them on hand, and when necessary share them with our supervisors. So I'm going to be looking at our brand new DOE School Libraries website as well, and looking first at the Your Library section of that website. Information that is provided on that page is the school libraries policy. This is the department policy, as Colleen spoke about earlier, and it talks about teaching and learning being central to our school library role. Again, Scan, that Colleen spoke to you about, a great PL resource for TLs. School Magazine is a resource there as well. Also provided is the Handbook for School Librarians. We're just going to look at that very quickly in the following slide. Also the memo that talks about this 20% figure. So in some documents it's shown as a 20 to 30% admin time. That's the time that TL should be spending no more than 30% on admin. So this is something that we can use when negotiating for more SAO hours in the library. We could ask them whether that's the best use of me as a resource. Did you really want to pay for me doing admin jobs and receiving a teacher wage? So you can make the economic consideration for a lot of those schools that don't get adequate SAO support. Information skills in the school. That document focuses again on our teaching and learning focus of information literacy. Looking quickly at the handbook, again, this document also highlights our teaching and learning role, as does the standards of professional excellence for teacher librarians. Now, the point I'm making, I'll get to in the next slide, but I'll just quickly show you the Teachers Federation information as well. Now, the point I'm getting to is that teaching and learning should be our focus, as Colleen was talking about. Moving on to advocacy and marketing. Our job is the best job in the school, but it is very hard work and it can sometimes be lonely and isolating. So this is what's called occupational disability. Sometimes we can feel that we're undervalued and what we do is unseen, and most of us, some of us may be very lucky and have a supervisor who will advocate on our behalf, but most of us actually have to do it ourselves. We can do this by becoming proactive and self-promoting, make sure we value our own knowledge, skills and contributions, because if we don't value them, we can't really expect others to do so. We can make visible our contribution by gathering hard evidence to prove the difference that we make. And we do this with
it's not just me.
Evidence-based practice.
Someone could mute it and then open it up again, but it doesn't work.
Can everybody hear me? I'm just checking. Evidence-based practice. Evidence-based practice will help with your PLPs. And some examples of this are student work samples, surveys, circulation statistics, etc. Obviously, the best EBP tool is the guided inquiry using the Slim Survey Toolkit to measure the impact. And obviously, once we've gathered this evidence, we want to share and publish that with others. When I was starting out as a teacher librarian, I had a mentor that said to me, if I could offer you one piece of advice, focus on the teaching and learning, because this will give us the most value in the school. Now, as a teacher librarian, we love books, we focus on books, they're important, and that role within our scope is a given. But it's important that if we leverage the teaching and learning, we can raise our profile as a specialist educator. So that is our teaching and learning role, focusing on our key futures learning skill set. The Future Ready Librarians, a few of you may have come across this. This is an initiative, a US enterprise, and this document shows how teacher librarians are well placed to be leaders in futures learning. As you can see, it provides this website, but the one I showed in the previous slide is the one that actually works. Marketing yourself as a whole library, whole school resource. So we can do that by having those professional conversations with colleagues, building those professional relationships. And this is, by doing this, is how we can gain traction and actually help teachers be confident and feel supported by us and having us in the classroom. And it's really hard sometimes to actually get teachers to allow us in there. So once we are in that position, it's, and team teaching, it's an opportunity for us to strut our stuff, and by word of mouth they can tell other teacher librarians, and we can start doing that team teaching with other teachers as well. I send out regular emails about how I can support their classes, so I keep reminding teachers about that. I share finds from different sources, especially Scan, with the colleagues via central and email. I do posts on student staff notices, submit articles for the school newsletter, and I make sure that I do pieces on information literacy and digital citizenship, advice and tips on those as well. Posts on your school's social media platforms, posters that utilise QR codes that direct students to websites, and utilising social media and professional learning networks. I also use my virtual library website as a teaching and learning tool when I'm actually doing the team teaching, and it also has a load of resources for teachers and students to revisit. So, building your professional learning networks. We have this brand new network that this is our first meeting today, so look forward to all that we'll be able to get out of this network. But most importantly, be part of your local teacher learning network. There's lots of networks scattered around the state. I have learnt most from these networks meetings. They're a valuable resource, so join and contribute to those. We have our Listservs, we have Yammer, Facebook and Twitter. Different ways that we can build our PLNs. Just showing how you can add Yammer to your essentials. And the top two groups are your Library Matters group, and SLS Forum is where you can ask questions about Oliver. And there's lots of other groups that you can join regarding STEM and makerspaces. Many groups that you can join. As you can see, it looks like social media with your likes and shares, etc. Just a few Facebook groups and Twitter groups that I'm recommending. This is by no means exhaustive. You can look at that in your own time later. To save time, I'll just skip through that. Getting the most out of SCIS. Now, Colleen's talked about this earlier, so I'll just skip through this one as well. What I like most about SCIS is these special order files. I only found out about them last year by the Connections publication. So I've got the link there if you want to go back and revisit that. Lots of great tips. What it mainly does is allow you to, it provides bulk curated, reliable and credible resources that you can import to Oliver, and it helps keep your collection current and relevant. I mainly use the websites, the scan journals, and the NDLRN, which is basically Scootle, that Colleen spoke about before. I don't have ClickView or WorldBook, so I'm not sure what those resources are like, but people can put a post on Yammer. I invite you to put a post on Yammer and tell me how useful they are. This is showing you the Scootle resources that you can upload into your Oliver catalogue. SCIS authority files also help make your user's browsing experience easier, and you can download them, and they are published on a 4-monthly basis, so you can update those regularly. And they're saved as a MARC file, which you then import into Oliver. I've provided the link here so you can follow those steps if you're not familiar with them. SCIS, again, Connections, another lovely, wonderful TL resource. SCIS News, they've recently added genre terms to their metadata, so look out for that in your SCIS records. And they're about to publish their brand new website, so keep an eye out for that as well. SCIS also has a blog, and so you can check that. That blog will give you lots of tips on how you can squeeze the most out of that as a resource. References you should look at your leisure. Okay, if you want to revisit this PowerPoint, I've provided a link there. Follow me on social media. You can check out my virtual library website.